So every now and then I get questions on how to, what's the best way to splice some wire. Say you got to lengthen a wire. There's a couple different methods here, and I'll show one method I like and dislike. It makes a good connection, but for a permanent situation, you might want to do something a little bit more secure, especially if it's going to be outdoors in the elements. I just have one piece of wire here, and I'm just going to use the two ends. We'll splice. One of the conductors is a 2-conductor 22 gauge cable. We're going to splice, just do a butt splice, and I'll just show 2 wires here. So use these little connectors here. You can buy these off Amazon. They're pretty cheap. This is the UY2K2. I don't know what those mean. This is for a 19 to 26 gauge wire. There's 2 little holes in them, and you shove your wires in there. There's a little knife in there, just like a RJ45 connector for Cat 5 cable, Cat 6, Cat 7, Cat 8. And this button gets depressed with a pair of pliers, and that knifes into the wire conductors and makes the connection. So the wires that you put in here will be connected together after you push that button down. And the cool thing is that there's a jelly in here. So when you squeeze it down, that jelly gets squirted out, and that will waterproof the connection. The little bit of jelly in there will just prevent water and other things from getting into that connection, which can cause a short. So you have your wire. You have a pair of wire strippers I have set up for these. You can buy these off Amazon too, many different locations. I usually push it away from myself because they tend to spiral cut sometimes, like a spiral cut ham. And if I go one direction, it'll tend to spiral out that way and not make a clean cut. So this one I just make 2 revolutions. 1, 2. You can actually see the insulation actually came loose. Inside here's a drain wire, which we don't use. Just clip that off. And then you got the shielding, which is kind of like a potato chip bag material. Sometimes that'll get cut with the cutters. Oh, and it did, so I don't have to trim it. Sometimes if it doesn't come off cleanly, you just take a pair of cutters and just nip just the corner, just to create a little cut, and then it should rip right off. So we'll take the other end here, do the same thing. Just get enough length on here. 1, 2. If you go too many revolutions and your the knife edge is set too deep, you'll start cutting into the individual conductors. You don't want to do that, especially if it's going to be outdoors, higher voltages, things like that. So this one didn't cut real well. So what I'll do is I'll just take it and just nip just a little bit of it, and then it'll peel right off. And so I got my conductors here. So let's say we're just going to butt splice the. Let's do the whites because it'll be easier to see, I think. Let's clip these off just for clarity. So you have your 2 conductors. No need to strip them. Take that connector with the 2 holes. Just put each wire into each hole here. What I always do is look on the back side of them. Make sure they slide up. See, that one wire is not slid up, so I'll slide both those conductors up. That little knife edge is about right in the middle of that circle, that circular area. Okay, so they're both pushed up. A lot of these kits come with these pliers that have the little flats on it for squishing squeezing it down. Just take it, just press till it's all the way depressed. You'll see some of the gel squeeze out. Don't go nuts with it because it's just plastic. You'll crack it. So it should be nice and flush when it's crimped down. You can see some of the gel came out. That's the waterproofing gel, and that's all you got to do. That's it. Those 2 wires are now bonded together.